The return home to northern Gaza is on hold this morning in the latest disruption to the ceasefire plan worked out between Israel and Hamas. Crowds of displaced Palestinian families are waiting to cross from the south into Gaza City. Reuters quotes Palestinian officials saying as many as 650,000 displaced people are waiting for the go-ahead. Those are scenes of people trying to make their way into the northern parts of Gaza. The delay comes after Israeli civilian Arbel Yahoud was not included in yesterday's swap. 4 female Israeli soldiers were freed in return for 200 Palestinian prisoners. And while Hamas was expected to free more non-military hostages, they now say Yahoud will be released next week. CBC News senior correspondent Sasha Petrusik is following the latest developments from Jerusalem.
There is a lot of frustration and impatience to get back up into the north for hundreds of thousands of Palestinians who've been stuck in the south, often living in tents and in very difficult conditions, trying to get up to the north, to their houses, to their communities, even though they know that many of those homes have been destroyed. But as you can see, they're waiting there with all of their possessions, their families, donkey carts, cars, or on foot heading up north. They are being held back by the Israeli military, which says that Hamas has not lived up to its side of the ceasefire agreement, which has been shaky from the beginning. It is holding, but still shaky, perhaps shakier today. Israel is saying that Hamas did not release one of the Israeli civilian females. As you mentioned, Arbel Yahoud, a 29-year-old from one of the border kibbutzes who was kidnapped 15 months ago. Instead, Hamas yesterday released 4 female soldiers who were hostage in Gaza and said that it will be releasing Yahoud in the next round of exchanges, that is next week. We haven't had a response from Israel today about that. There were negotiations going on all night long in Cairo to try to resolve that issue, but it has not yet been resolved. And instead, Israel and Israeli forces have been keeping people from going up north. We are hearing from the Gaza Health Ministry that one Palestinian, has been killed, 7 others injured in various confrontations as people, as I say, very, very impatient people try to get up north today.
Sasha, there are also reports that Israeli forces remained in Lebanon after the withdrawal deadline. When are they expected to leave that region, and what impact is this having on the ceasefire deal?
Well, this is another situation where we are seeing lots of Lebanese civilians who are trying to get back to these various villages in the south of Lebanon that have been cleared of pretty much everybody over the past few months by Israel, who has been trying to push back Hezbollah militants in southern Lebanon in particular, and trying to clear weapons and tunnels that they say that they have found in those villages in the south. There has been a ceasefire for about 2 months now. Today was the day when Israel was supposed to be pulling back and leaving Lebanon. It has said it is not leaving Lebanon because the other terms of the ceasefire have not been maintained, which is that Hezbollah withdraw from those villages entirely from the south of Lebanon, and that the Lebanese military is supposed to move in there to ensure that. Israel says that has not entirely been done. It is staying for an unspecified period of time. The Lebanese government is not happy about that, and it says that at least 3 people have been killed, perhaps more, as these civilians have tried to move back down there, killed by Israeli forces who are saying that their people have noticed threats to them and needed to fire back. So confrontations there, too, around very similar kind of back and forth and disagreements over conditions of a ceasefire agreement. In one case in Gaza, in this case in Lebanon. That one is being overseen by the Americans and by the French government And they both are kind of watching this very, very carefully. That's what they say. They have not given Israel explicit permission to stay there for much longer, but they have said that there are issues with the ceasefire and with Hezbollah's pullback. So we'll be watching that one very carefully as well.
That's Sasha Petrusik in Jerusalem.